Welcome to episode 12 of Downfall, Conquest of the Third Reich, our playthrough. And this is a special episode because we have begun a new turn. It is turn 2, also known as March 1943 to June 1943. Let's get started. There's a procedure in the manual, and I do recommend you follow it fairly. It's an important sequence, and you want to get everything right. And there's actually also a little handy card for executing it. But first thing is the obvious. We're going to move the game turn from 1 to 2. Next, we set up our weather cards, and as you can see, there's going to be 3 phases of the weather in turn 2, fair, mud, and fair. So we'll go from fair, have that on top, and then later we'll go to mud. We won't need snow for this round, but we'll keep it around. Next, check action cards not yet in the game. If they are marked to enter the play on this new turn, place each in its respective draw pile and shuffle that draw pile. You can see the little turn 2 down at the bottom on each of these. They're basically a card for each faction coming into the game. Into turn 2, I will spare you me shuffling them in. Step 4, place all reinforcement units and markers scheduled to enter play in the new game turn in the pending area. And that will be all these I've stacked up here on turn 2. And let's spread them out here. Boxed infantry for them. So far there. Some airborne units. Here's our beachheads that we'll certainly factor in later. Here's our guard units that are going to replace. And that's everything for turn 2. Step 5, take all event discards and the spent event card and shuffle them together. Then place the shuffled cards face down in the event draw pile box beneath any cards already there. We went down to the last one, so there's not going to be any like that. When there's done, there should be no cards in the discard pile. So all this goes away, including this air token. Yes, the turn of the turn will remove his only air token on the map. And yes, when you see that symbol, the Westerners will gain an air token. They have one already here, and we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, is I'm going to put them on the 1st British over in Africa. And I'm doing a little shuffling here. I'll speed this up. And under they go. Done. Yeah, that thing about air units is step 6. Okay. Step 7, put all played order markers from each faction's order display back into the order draw cup. Order markers and planning boxes and action tracks stay where they are. So all these are going to come off. All of these, except for the planning box, like it says, are going to go into the draw cup. And now we have a cup full of orders. I gotta get a fancy cup. Look at this little camper Boy Scout cup. And step 8 is resume the current action round. And that is it for switching over to a new turn. And I gotta hand it to him. Once you get the hang of this game flows smooth as silk. So we are ready to start a new round. Also for turn 2 is I'm going to start uploading these in 1080. I've noticed I've recorded them in 1080. Yes, I did in 1080. But when I went to the editor and turned it into a file I could upload to YouTube, I had it set on 720. So the first turn was all in 720. So let's see if this doesn't improve the resolution here a little bit. And the OK West starts us off, and here's my fancy new mug. And we ran out of orders towards the end of that turn there, so we have 4 spots to fill. None of them are OK East, so this should be interesting. There's other material shortages, which not really what the West is looking for. There's something for the deployed. Oh, we got naval move on there. We got the partisan. I get the feeling the OK East might be looking at a reseed. No, they're way up on the initiative. It's gonna be a long time before they get to play anyway. So there's a good chance someone will pop out for them. Anyway, and OK West is still looking at Africa, and the OK West, as far as the Russians and the Soviets are concerned, are doing their jobs, which is just sitting there, denying the Westerns the victory. So they're going to continue to do that, and in fact try to make themselves even a bigger nuisance by playing strategic warfare. Strategic warfare for a whopping 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop, we go to the end. All the way up, just shy of flipping a new event. Rolling on Siege of Malta. We need a 5, preferably a 10. They roll a 7. This will bring this here. And this fleet becomes active. Back in full business. It is the Westerners go. The weather marker is right on them. So we roll for that. 9. 9 plus 2. 11. Jethro Tull's Cup of Wonders. Okay, whoops, these all have to go down. There's something for the OK. Yeah, so they're not going to be able to reseed. As long as there's no... Oh, wait a minute, he also could have done that, so... Westerners are going to go ahead and just put this in their planning box for 1 initiative. Let's get that over here. Up on the map, so just go 1. It's still their turn. Back down here. Draw from the cuppa. Recruit or mechanize. The Westerners are going to grab their HQ wild card. Goes right here. And with it, we're going to... Whoa! Kicked my stand here. We're going to play the 3-2. Oh, wait a minute. Are we? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. No problem. Not a problem. 9 plus 3 would be 12. And we're just going to be able to get a move in before the OK West can react. We like this very much. So I'm going to play several. Before I do that, I'm going to play several of these cards. And you can play any number of these, as many as you want. As long as the conditions exist, you can play them. And that's probably why they stuck the 10 limit card, so somebody just doesn't just overdo it. But first thing I'm going to do a little thing, because I just saw something incredibly evil the OK West can do. I'm going to play this strategic movement hand. And the evil thing I thought they could do is take the Africa Corps and bounce out like this, go here, then on some other turn, go here, 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 and then just run around the desert, making the allies chase them all over creation and just stall for more time. That way, that would be so wicked. So to counter that, we're going to use strategic movement, which allows you to move any distance using only sea areas and friendly rail lines. Just can't enter an enemy zone of control, and they can't move in this order. And we're going to take this guy right here from Cairo. And... oh no, he's not on a rail line. Ah, darn it. I might have to do this guy. There's only 1 point. Yowza. I think I'll be all right. Yeah, he has to start, I believe he has to start on a rail line. Yeah. He's on a rail line, so we're just going to go... I need my panorama here. We're going to stop right here. That should box these guys in. So there goes my strategic movement card. Maybe not the best use of that, but I just thought it just looks so wicked. Something that the West could do. The OK West, that is. Oh, I decided not to play that other card. We'll hold on to that for just a bit. Now let's move on to the actual order. The 3 redeploy and 2 attack order. And let me think. Actually, down here first, I think I'm going to do this. This kind of renders my that play with that card. Might be a waste here, but it's okay. It's okay. This is the redeploy does apply to motorized infantry. And with it, I'm going to back out here like so, and back in like this, and now that whole dancing around the map is cut off from the Africa Corps, unless you can force a retreat or something like that. Quick correction here. When I moved here, air is in a zone of control of enemy, and you have to immediately rebase to the nearest eligible hex. He has to be on a railway, so we're just going to move it here like that. All right. Here, however, is the main attraction. Showdown between the British and some American versus the 5th Panzer. And I'm going to bring our first British in here. 1, 2. I'm going to bring the Canadians in here. 1, 2, 3. And the Americans. 1, 2, 3. And it is time to battle. We're going to try to force this guy, at least try to force him off the hill. This may be bloody. First that happens is card play. The American, and you always start with what do you call these things? Command cards. Headquarters action cards. You can only play one, and you have to play it first. And the active guys, the Westerners, would play first. They don't have one. The Germans, however, do have one. And they are going to play Army Group South, which will give them 1 strength and +1 to the die. We'll put it here to remind us. Oink. And then on to any number of combat cards can be played. The Westerners are going to throw in Patton and Armored Infantry. It's going to add +2 and another +2 in the fair weather here. And I'm kind of trying to make up for the fact that he's on a hill there. That's a +2 to his total force. That really, yeah, this is going to be a tough battle. And so that's all the cards I'm going to play for him. Combat cards, but there's more. There's even more. The Germans have a card they're going to want to play. And they're going to do tank traps. When your Axis unit defending in a hill, they are. The attacker's strength modifiers from armored units do not apply in this combat. That is a brutal card. That is going to just completely neuter the Western's attack. However, and that's kind of the problem with the solitaire play. You know what cards are coming out and whatnot. We're going to play, when the OKW plays a card, which they just did, we're going to play this card and cancel this card's effects. Now watch the language very carefully. It says cancel that card's effects. It doesn't say discard the card at all. Which means the Westerners, as the OK East, can play this, which will put that card into your hand in play when your opponent plays an Axis card. So instead of it going to the discard after the combat is done, it goes into the Westerners' hands, or more specifically the OK East's hands. And yes, this has been clarified by the designer. You can play, even though it's the Westerns that are active, you can play this OK East card, because you are controlling these cards. And yes, I can play this, so when this is all said and done, I'm going to steal that tank trap, which would be very handy for the OK East. So we have thrown all the cards that are going to be thrown, and now it comes down to the battle. We'll just say it's the American 5th US that is the active attacker. That's going to start us off with 2. We have 2 flanking attackers, which will bring it up to 4. We have 3 armor units, which is going to bring it up to 7 in fair weather. And elite badges, I think we're even Steven on that. Yes, we are. So nobody gets any bonus for that. We have at least 1 Western combat unit, so we're up to 8. I think that is everything. Now to the Germans. They have 2. They have this Army Group South card, which adds 1 for 3. Here, I'll show you so you see it. Right there, that little one there. They are German for 4. Oh, man. Oh, let me bring these dice down so you can actually see them. Yeah, there you go. Where were we? We had 2 plus 1 plus 1 for being German. And worst of all, they're in a hill, which adds 2. 6. Well, we're on the 2 column. That is not a great place to be. Let's see if we can make it up on the DRMs. I think we can. Okay, so the dice roll modifiers for all the combat cards. So we're going to have plus 4 from these cards. Minus 1 from, so that's 4. Minus 1 from the Army Group South card. Let me see, it was plus 1, right? Yes, plus or minus 1, yes. So that drops it down to 3. But possibly most importantly, we have air superiority in fair weather. Right here, plus 5. And you start getting a sense of how important the card play is, because I've loaded up. I knew this was going to be a tough battle, but a very necessary battle, so I went ahead and threw a lot of cards to get the DRM up. And even if I roll Snake Eyes, and hopefully I can do better, I think I'm gonna be forcing him to move. So here comes the big battle in Africa. Plus 5. And 7 will be enough to max out the victory at 3 hits on the Germans. All right. Germans are defeated and forced off this hill. He will have to take 1 hit at least. He can retreat up to 2 hexes, and that's what he's going to do. I wondered if I get cute and go into these mountains and make him chase me in there, but honestly, I think we're just going to start the evacuation procedure on this end. Still got another one to deal with. But and these guys will advance. Canadians here and US here. Up to 2 can advance in. And we have the higher ground. High ground! That's going to do it for this episode. We are into the spring season, and that means lots of offensives. And we just saw a pretty big one down there in Africa. Join us next time, and it will be the Soviets initiative. And we have a lot of fighting to do still. But see you then, and thanks for watching.